Hello. How is everyone? How are you on this chilly, chilly Monday? Oh, wait. Sorry, forgot to mute myself. Amateur hour over here. Amateur hour. What's happening? Oh, Cloud just left me a voice note, and I'm just gonna tell her I can't listen because I don't want her to say something that you're all like, what is she talking about? So, how are we all doing? I see all my beloved favorites are here. I'm glad that it's working because when I logged on, um StreamYard had this like thing at the top. I mean, if worst came to worst, I could still go live, like, but it would be anyone who's like an OG from my channel, Tammy, Carol, Steph, you guys will remember um when when I used to go live like on my phone. And because I think I've been doing weekly lives for like a year and a half now. It's like a while. So I remember in the beginning, I remember the first Elcon was like I like filmed my phone because where I lived was like the internet was really because it's like a village that I lived when I started my channel. And yeah, the internet was really bad. I put these little stickers on my thing today. You can see them all. Dee-dee-dee. I thought they were well, I made them, so I thought they were cool for all the people that they always ask me where I'm from, and I'm like, well, it's gonna take me like 20 minutes to explain. Um, oh yeah, because this one has the name of the mic, sure, and I was just like, I don't want that there. So yeah, when I got those when I was in town today, and just like, I think it was like £3, like $5 for all of them. So, um, yeah, yeah, it's I have been not watching, but like I did go back and have like a little look at some old videos, and yeah, it's just funny. I There is no one I appreciate more than my subscribers for putting up with me in the beginning. Oh my god. I When I did that video yesterday on my weight loss, and I went back and looked at the old videos, I was like, "Whoa." And every like we have upgraded seriously in the past year and a half. I wanted to show you guys this glass. It's so cool. It lights up, but because I have the lights on, you can't really tell. But it's like really bright in the dark. Maybe at the end I'll turn the light off and you can see. But I hope everyone's doing well. We had a really, really nice weekend on the Isle of Man. Saturday and Sunday was really sunny, and I'm like doing some what's the best way to put this? Location scouting at the moment for one of my next projects, and the projects with like my family, and a lot of my family are like very deeply paranoid about people knowing what's going on. So I this weekend I went and like looked at a bunch of places because it's the weekend, and I mean, it's hard enough to get people to work on weekdays on the Isle of Man, never mind the weekend. So, I was, like, driving around taking pictures, and it was really nice that the sun was out, and I was like, "Yes, we're getting to spring again, and the outward filming is starting again, and it's all go. We're ready to say goodbye to winter." And I think well, no, I talked about this very briefly on my Patreon watch party last night, um, which Kaya, we missed you, and Misha, we missed you guys. We do, and Carol and Amy, Lots of you guys. But anyone who's in my Patreon knows that we do watch parties. So we watched episode of the L Word, and we watched season 1, episode 6. And if you are ever considering joining Patreon, this is the time to do it, because next watch party, we are watching the L Word finale, and it's gonna be hysterical because I know a lot of the guys haven't watched it in a while, and it is horrendous. It's some of the worst television I've ever seen. Oh yeah, those if that's why I said in my weight loss video, Misha, that those not having children really is kind of a real time saver for me. Um sorry, I ate some chicken really fast, and I have that gastric band, so it like causes like a trapped air sometimes. So if you hear like a weird little noise, that's what it is. Oh, Jackie, I go to I used to go to South Africa a lot for work. My brother-in-law is South African too, and there's a lot of South African people on the Isle of Man, like a lot. When I was at school, like about 10% of our school was South African. Yeah, Grey's Anatomy. We start off with Grey's in Station 19 because there's not really too much L-word info, just heard some little mutterings, but I had a meeting on Friday. No, I went to see a trout farm, an old trout farm on the edge of the island, and it was super windy, and I had to, like, look out, like, there was no barrier to look over the cliff, and, I was like, "Oh, I couldn't get out of it," so I thought, "Oh, I'll go, and then my videos will just be up a little bit later." But, oh my god, Kai wasn't in Grey's Anatomy, so that ruled Grey's Anatomy out, and then it was like a blip in Station 19, and I've told you guys this loads, but the little, like, lesbian group that we have, like, Alex and Evelyn and I, and Alex didn't do a reaction last week or the week before, because there's just not really, like, anything to like, to talk about. Like, I don't wanna just post to post. So with, hopefully this week, there'll be something decent, and then I'll maybe put, like, the clip from last week, like, a little bit of it in this video so that I can talk about it. But, yeah, it's I don't know. Hopefully they pick it up. But the one good thing to say is that I think it's like the next 8 weeks is like new grays, new grays, new grays. Like, there is no break for ages because we had that really long break. So that'll be good. Oh, geez, down there. When the cats are in the litter tray and you just like hear them like tearing it up. It's like I just changed it, and like, I put those like litter liners in it, so she's like always like pulling her nails against it. Hi, you gonna say hi to everyone? You gonna come say hi? No, going to bed. Okay. That was her appearance for the evening. I can't afford her fees tonight. Oh, that's a good point. Any of the revenue from that's what I'm gonna try and keep it green, not put it unlimited like it always is. But any of the revenue from super chats or from AdSense or YouTube subscriptions, I will match it and donate it tonight for Ukraine. There's a couple of charities that people have told me, and then the Airbnb thing too seems to be like a good one to do. But my friends and I did a bunch of donations last week, and the donation place, like, literally put on their Facebook that they couldn't take anymore, and I was like, "That's a good problem to have, that people are donating so much." So we ended my dad ended up getting tons of stuff too, and then I took his stuff and donated it to, like, people on like, in the UK because, the Isle of Man's very lucky. We just don't have poverty. Like, we don't have crime, we don't have poverty. Like, it just, our island is really safe, and it's just, there's obviously tiny, tiny percent of people that struggle, but the government, here is very wealthy, so they, sort those people out with houses and things like that, and the houses here are nice too, so it's, and, we have obviously the socialized medicine and all that, so people don't go into debt because of medical and blah, 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 blah. Going off on the little, Isle of Man. Oh, Misha, thanks so much. Getting the ball rolling with our donation. Thank you so much. Really appreciate that. Oh yeah, Robin, we're gonna watch the season 6 finale at the April watch party, and like, obviously the Bet and Tina stuff in that episode is cute, but like, I was saying I think I said it to the guys last night, literally, there is like, the series finale is this huge thing, and the last, 15 minutes, 10 minutes of the series finale should be, like, so exciting and, like, your emotions and all that. And I'm not joking, they spend the last scene, like, proper last scene of Bet and Tina, the last scene of Max, and they spend 5 minutes talking about a sweater. And is it cold? And, "Oh, do you need a sweater? Did you go get a sweater?" Like, it's horrendous. Tammy, thank you so much for that really generous super chat. And Lisa, thank you so much for that really generous super sticker. You guys are the best. And thank you, all three of you, for getting the ball rolling. And yes, you're the best. Thank you so much. Yes, Beth. Oof. It's wild. The I like when I worked in New York, there was a guy that he was on my team, and when I used to do like his, like reviews and things like that, he was a lot older than me. He was, I think he was like close to 50, and he had 3 kids and a wife, and they in for people that aren't in the US, you get paid every 2 weeks in the US as opposed to, once a month like here. And this guy, basically one of his entire checks went to the keeping up the medical payments for, like, his insurance for his wife and kids and stuff. It's really wild because here, like, yes, you have the national insurance, but if you want, like, or if you can afford to, and lots of good companies do give insurance out through their work, but, the national one is really good. Like, I get injections in my shoulder, because it's, like, really ruined from horse riding and, like, falling off constantly, and when I was in the States, I used to be something ridiculous, like 1,000 or $1,500 every 3 months, and here, literally, I'm going on Thursday, I just walk into the hospital, it takes 10 minutes, like, I know the nurse, and get it done and walk out, and that's it, like, and there's a joke in the Isle of Man about, like, what's the difference between, say, like, a dentist going to a national health or going to the private one, and it's like, oh, the receptionist will or won't have teeth. If she goes to a private one, she has teeth. Kaya, thank you so much for the super sticker. Oh, you're the best. Thank you so much. You guys are really showing up and putting it up for, hopefully we'll do some good. Jeez, 600. It's crazy. It's really crazy. Yeah, I am planning on coming to Florida in this is pending Sunday. So I have that big meeting on Sunday actually with every private doctor on the island. And they're hopefully going to sign like a exclusive thing with me so that I do all their like everything, like websites, marketing, blah blah blah. But then also if they need a nurse or they need, to hire another doctor or something, like, I'll handle all that. Um, do, like, radio ads for them, go into, like, private companies and, like, pitch oh, sorry. It's making, like, a gurgly noise. Pitching the companies and stuff like that, so if that all goes well, I think I'm gonna come to Florida in June, and I know there's a couple of you guys that are in Florida, so I'd love to do like a little meetup if he's wanted to, since I'm gonna do one in July in for Laurel's thing. So that would be cool. I'm gonna meet Evelyn too. So we talked about that the other day, so that would be really cool. And yeah, I mean, Laurel shows in London. If you want to meet up or even just know what's going on, I have a group on Facebook, and I'll put the little thing in link in a sec, and I'm gonna put like I've already put my flight and my hotels. So if you join that group, you'll be able to see like what's happening. Basically, I'm gonna say like every day, the morning of the show, I'll be like, oh, I'm gonna meet, here at this time in the lobby of the hotel or something. So if you want to join the group to kind of keep in check. Missy and Christine, thank you so much. You guys are just the best. Thank you for the super stickers. We're gonna get it for I like cannot fathom what those poor people are going through at the moment, because it's just like it's wild. Oh my gosh, yeah. The lottery, like there's so many situations though where like I worked in the gambling sector for a really long time, and my dad had like the first ever e-gaming site in the world. And so, you know that was when I was like 11 or something he did that. So all my life I've been around it and like horse racing and stuff. And when I before I started my own company, it was when I had the channel in the beginning, and I had that job at that gaming company, the one after Poker Stars. And I used to design like all the slot machines, and I did like the math for it, and then like the psychology stuff behind it. And you would be so shocked by the amount of people who win, like, I mean, like a really significant amount of money. Like, I've seen people win over 1 million and they put all the money back into the site. The second you win any money on those sites, the first thing you should do is immediately close your account, because what are you chasing then? Get out. That's how they get you. People keep going back. So that's my advice. Vicky, thank you so much for the super sticker. Oh, I see you've got a new avatar with a horse there. Mhm. That was, like, my childhood. My mom was, like, obsessed with horses, so my sisters and I used to ride a lot. Oh, Nancy, you're moving to Florida in April? Ooh, you'll be there in June. Um, yeah, I love Florida. Like, I would live there again, definitely. It's it's hot. I mean, like, obviously, it's super hot in summer, but my absolute favorite time of year there is, like, this time through to May, and then October, November, December is, like that's really perfect for the super, super pale Irish person that burns the second they walk outside and has, like, sometimes I get the humidity in my hair, like, poofies a little bit. Oh, Laura sells, prints too, Lisa. Tammy has, some Laurel stuff. She's the one to talk to. She knows about all that. Jody, I hope. I mean, she's obviously gonna be at the show, so you know me, like, I'll talk to anyone. So, if she's there, I will definitely, try and say hi or something, but it just depends, like, how many people are there. Because if there's tons of people, and, like, what her schedule's like maybe she'll do, like, a talk or something like that. So I'm interested to see how it goes because we're gonna be there, like, the opening day, basically, because I get in late in the evening because there's only one flight. I actually got an email the other day that they had to change my flight, but they just changed, like, the number of the flight. It was still the same time. Oh, Vicky, I'm so sorry to hear that. Oh, you're running in horsey heaven. Be up there with my old horses. My first pony was called Twix, and she had a brother called Crunchy and a brother called Curly Whirly and Bounty. And for Americans, yes, Twix, but Crunchy, Curly Whirly, and Bounty are all like Bounty is a Mounds bar, and they're all like different ones. Oh, Christine, nice. Put up in a hotel for 4 months. One of my friends from high school actually, when when I moved to Florida and I was 16, I started as a junior, and then, like, all this chaos happened basically where I started school as a junior and then they were like, "Oh, hang on, she shouldn't even be," like, I did one of those tests then for, like, an equivalent thing because they'd never dealt with anyone from the UK before at my school, and then they were like, "Oh, no, you should be in university." And so then I was gonna go to university at 16, but they only figured this out after, like, 6 weeks that I'd been at school, and I had already made a lady friend that was my first proper girlfriend. So and we went out for, like, 4 years, so then I ended up staying. But the year that I started high school as a junior, there was another new girl, and she was American, and I felt really bad for her because so many people were like obviously, they just wanted to hear my accent, and she was like so many people kept saying, "Are you the Irish girl? Are you the Irish girl?" She was like, "No." And now she ended up marrying someone she dated in high school, and he was, like, in the boys' school of ours, and he is basically like a Top Gun pilot in the Air Force, and they ended up getting deployed to the UK, so they're in the UK now. I'm gonna try and see her when I'm over some of the time in the summer, but she's got, like, I think she has 4 kids now, so they're really nice. Oh, yeah, Kaya, that's a really good point. Everyone, like, thank you so much to everyone who donates, and then, like, if you can, spreading the word, keeping good vibes, it all helps. Yeah, I know a couple of people. I guess I'll talk about this now too because I know I've got quite a decent amount of messages about this, but I've also seen people talking about it a lot on social media and especially on Twitter and stuff like that. And then one of my Twitter friends, she she was talking about it too because she is, like, connected in the whole film and TV stuff, and basically, people are, like, really worried about and I did talk about this last week, I think, too, but people were really worried about Laurel coming back to season 3, and people were worried if she's gonna come back or not. Like, no one should be worrying at all because this is exactly what I said last week, I think. There is no way that they would have let them do and by they, I mean the Showtime executives, and by them, I mean, like, the writers, basically. There's no way they would have been allowed to do that ending if they didn't have something signed with Laurel to be like, "Oh, you're gonna do" maybe they'll leave the actual episode amount up to thing, but it'll be at least X amount of episodes, and I wouldn't be surprised if it was half. Like, they do she could have signed a deal for 2 or 3 seasons, last season being the first one, and then usually around season 5 is if a show's still going then, is when a lot of contracts like, if you look at even shows from the past like Friends, ER, all those big shows, but even ones now like on the CW that's like The Flash, Arrow, all those ones, they all have very, very similar contracts that they do a big chunk like that, like for 5 seasons that they're signed for. They know like that's the deal. And then after the 5th season, that's usually when you can gauge whether a show's successful or not, and that's when you kinda have your bargaining tool because say, like, just make up the situation that the L Word is doing the same as it does, like, last season. It gets a little bit bigger season 3, then season 4 continues, we get season 5, and say they say, "Oh, we're gonna do another 2 seasons. It's gonna be 7 seasons." And God knows what's going on by then, but, people like Laurel would be in a really powerful position then to be able to say, "Oh, I'm super, like, integrated into the storyline now," and, say they leave on some sort like, I don't know, Bet and Tina walking up the aisle, like, they can't continue that without Tina, so she'd be in a really good position to be able to be like, "Pay me a little bit more money." Or that's when you see them start like, the actors start to get a lot more control, and that's when imagine it is season they've just finished season 5 and they're going to into negotiations. Someone like Seppi, who is really popular and, she's one of the most popular people on the show. By season 5, Dani and Gigi would be, a lot further along. I'm sure they're only gonna grow in popularity, And I think there'd be uproar, certainly from Vicky and I, if, Gigi didn't come back. So that's when she could say, I want more money and I want to be a producer. Like it probably wouldn't happen that early on, but that's how like Ellen Pompeo and stuff, how she's a producer because, that was implemented into her contract and it kicked in after a certain amount of time. And also, and I have been saying this for a while that Leisha, Kate, and Jennifer have a lot more say on the show than people realize. Like they they're like actively like pitching things for their characters and they will be aware of everything going on in the show because I mean like there are people that are executive producers and it's just basically it's about money, like that's all it is. Like there was two producers on Buffy the Vampire Slayer because of the rights, like the way Eileen and Kathy and that they're executive producers or whatever it comes up on the credits for Generation Q, they are not involved in the show. Like they don't come on set. Like there's nothing going on there. But it's just because of the way that the rights and everything were set up with the original show. I just poured water on myself. Oh gosh. Oh, nice, Jillian. Monday done. Out. Vicky. Yeah, I don't know. I think we kind of lightly touched on this last night, but I just really wonder how many seasons this will go for. Oh yeah. Oh, Robin, good luck at your appointment. But yeah, that's true. Laurel's having another show in Barcelona or Barcelona, if I said it right. Um, yeah, Misha, I think that too. Like with it's not unheard of nowadays, but it is very rare. Like they used to do that a lot with Grey's Anatomy, but now I don't think she would ever sign on to multiple seasons. I'm trying to think of some other shows that happened with. Not too many recently, but there was I remember they did it for The Flash on I think they did it for Supergirl once, and there were certain ones that they did, but yeah, it is a lot rarer now. Um I remember they did it with Buffy, but it was like over the whole when the WB was closing and they made and like UPN. It was a really weird because everybody I think everybody thought like ABC or Fox. I think Fox was gonna get Buffy, and then UPN, which is like a new network, I think, they paid, like, way more than anyone else, so they got Buffy, but they had to take Roswell, like, that was the deal, and I'm trying to remember. And they were like, "Oh, we'll do 2 more seasons," and that was season 6 and 7, obviously, and then Roswell, they only had 1 more season. Oh, yeah. See, yeah, but that's the thing. I think 5 seasons would be a nice, like, round out for Gen Q, but, I mean, there's possibilities, like, say I don't know, say Jennifer, Kate, and Leisha have in their minds loosely, okay, we want to do 5 seasons, and that's we also don't know what did Jennifer say to get Laurel to come back. Like it could have been something like that, like oh, Leisha, Kate, and I were saying we're gonna do 5 years of, and I don't normally like talking about this stuff, but just it's nothing like crazy. But say they say, okay, we know Leisha and Kate, like the L Word is their most popular work, and we don't know like how many more years Jennifer wants to do whatever she wants to do. So they could have said, okay, we're going to do 5 years of this. We've got more control. We're, able to put in the stories, pick out what we want, what we don't want. And they could also say, like, over this 5 seasons, by the end of the fifth season, we want to be able to transition out where we'll be guest stars or something. I really doubt that would happen, because I think what this is just obviously I've never seen the contract, I don't know, but my opinion is that whatever contract they sign to be executive producers I'm sure that they're paid participants now, which means that they, instead of just residuals like actors normally get, they'll be paid participants, which means like when the show goes to DVD, when it goes to other countries, syndication, they get money from it. So 5 years of that, like even though it's a smaller show, it's a popular show and it goes to a lot of countries. And this show also does really well on streaming and DVD because people are watching it in secret. So if they did all that and then they said, but to finish what I was saying, I think that whatever they signed, that as long as the show is renewed, then they're tied to the show. Like, I don't think there would ever be a situation where Jennifer, Alicia, or Kate would leave. Like, I just I think that that is like, taken care of. And I guess, they could do a spin-off or something. They could do a spin-off with Danny and Gigi, or they could introduce a character in the fourth or fifth season that ends up getting their own show. Like there's tons of possibilities to have a Generation Z or Generation Z or something, and do the next lot of stuff. But oh, hey, Rosanna. Um, yeah, but I think 5 seasons would be good because I don't know. I wish that they would kind of do what Yellowjackets. I mean, I think they regret saying that about the 5 seasons, but I wish they would. I wish what they were doing now was that they were going away and using this time to arc out the whole season and then maybe have some things that are arced out. Say, just pick something like 5 seasons and do some things that if nothing happens and they end at 4 seasons, that it's not the worst thing in the world. But if you set some little things up now that pay off in the fifth season, I'm not saying you need to be like Lost or Yellow Jackets or something, but I don't know. I just think that there's so much they can do, and I don't want them to do what they did last season and just do the episode to episode thing. Oh, bye, Amy. Yeah, I'm Beth. At like, I have been saying this till I was blue in the face. I have said this since the very beginning, and I even have a video if you're interested to know more. But that's why I made such a big deal out of Leisha and Kate saying that they knew since October, because all I have listened to is people telling me like, "Oh, you're wrong, you're wrong, you're wrong." And I feel like every week I go on I don't really go on forums and stuff because I don't obviously I don't wanna, like, cloud my thoughts with, like, other people's, but then also, like, I don't wanna stumble into, like, you know, people saying, like, mean things, but, I do go on Reddit. I like Reddit a lot, and I go on there for not just the L word, like, tons of other stuff, and I feel like every time I go on there, especially while we were waiting on hearing the renewal, there was so many people that were like, the ratings suck, of course, we're not getting the show back." And I got to the stage where I feel like people are saying it just to, like, rile me up because, like, just like, if you're looking at the ratings and thinking that they mean anything, like, I just don't even understand how people can think this way. The show is out 4 days before the airing. Like, who in their right mind is going to wait until a Monday night at 10 o'clock to watch it when it's been out since Thursday at midnight? Like, it's just it blows my mind, and that's why there was so many people that whenever the, renewal announcement came, there was so many people that were, like, gleefully like, "Oh, well, it took them long enough to renew it," and it's like, "Actually, no, they renewed it straight away." So, Showtime have told me to my face w well, not to my face, but, like, in an email, "We're really happy with the show," and when the season I think it was, like, 2 episodes in, they were, like, saying really nice things to me about, like, "Thanks," and blah, 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 and they were saying, like, "Oh, we're so happy with the numbers," and I think they got a big boost in between season 1 and 2 because I think a lot of people discovered the show in quarantine or whatever, because I know a ton of people that, mostly, like, people that I talk to on Twitter, because I only really am on Twitter for the L word, and so many of those people only discovered the show, like, I there was someone, like, 2 weeks ago who basically watched the whole thing, and yeah, I that's why, like, now I'm just like, I've put all the thoughts out there, like, and I did go through, in it's a video from December, and it's called, like, Ratings, something like that. I'll find the link, and I basically, like, did, like, a formula that I think is a good estimate because the other thing is, like, when you look at the L Word compared against the other shows that are released early, which is only the first episode usually because no one else releases the whole season early like the L Word, the numbers are super similar. Oh, thanks, Jillian. No worries. Yeah, exactly, Jody. Like, most people, okay, I'm not saying most people are fanatics, like, come on, all of us that are gonna watch it straight away, or I don't know, like Tammy and me getting up at, I was getting up at 3 a.m. to put my makeup on before it came out at 5 a.m. But it comes out like Friday morning. So mm, I know not everyone, but a lot of people are gonna watch a show over the weekend as opposed to a Monday night. But the way that they record the viewership, they do have the streaming numbers. The thing is though, and this is another thing that people have twisted that I said the majority of the time streaming numbers are not released. Nobody releases all their streaming numbers. No one. There is a few articles where Netflix or some of these big companies will release snippets. They will release, 18 to 24-year-old male living on the East Coast. Like, it's very, very tiny bits because they don't want anyone figuring it all out. And I remember seeing someone, I think it was on Reddit again, and basically Netflix, or no, it was about Dexter. And they had said they released an article saying like how Dexter had done so well. And but it was literally like, we've only looked at the numbers for this 24-hour period straight after the episode was released, and it's only looking at 18 to, I think, 40-year-olds. And it was literally the premiere numbers for that age group. And someone had said like, "Oh, I know someone says that they never release streaming numbers," and I'm like, "They don't. No one releases all their streaming numbers. They've released 18 to 40-year-olds in this 24-hour period." But I'm probably not explaining this very well, but basically, no, like, you cannot find streaming numbers for anyone the way that you can just go on and see like the ratings, from Friends or something. Like, because they don't want to share their streaming numbers because advertisers and all those things, like, it's all about money, obviously. I ignored the cynics. That's what I try and do. Like, and anybody putting their opinion and their face on social media, like, there is people, and this is anybody who wants to start YouTube or anything social media. The number one thing that you have to accept is that there are some people who will absolutely despise you, and it usually has nothing to do with you. Like, the second they click on your video, there's some people who hate you, and that's fine. But I do just try and ignore, like, you know, horrible comments or anything like that, because I feel like anytime you get involved, like, it only just delves into disaster. Like, there's no positive you're gonna take away from that, and you kinda, like, give them what they want too, like attention. So, yeah, I just normally just ignore anything like that. Lainey said it there, the Nielsen, thing. Their the their numbers aren't, like, it's only the Nielsen streaming charts is only, like, that again, like, segments of information. It's not the entire, like, you couldn't look at, I don't know, Orange Is the New Black and be like, absolutely, X amount of people over this year watched it, because it's like when they do, like sweeps week and stuff, where they take like time periods and use those for like advertisers and stuff. It's like a similar thing where they take like a time period. Okay, I didn't know that you only started watching then. Oh, that's interesting. I didn't realize that. Oh, that made me think of a good poll question. Let me see. Oh, I'm gonna come up with the categories. Mhm. Eba's got like weird music on. Mm, Okay. So when did you start watching the L Word is the question. I know I've probably told this before, but I started watching the L Word when I moved to America, what I was saying before, when I was like 16. The first person that I met, my dad, was working at like this you Florida guys will know, Darby Lane. And because like his company and Darby Lane like formed another company, and the family that like owned it, they had a friend that their niece went to the school that I was going to go to, and they ended up introducing us because I didn't know anyone obviously. And the that girl, we ended up dating for like 4 years, but it was obviously on the DL and stuff. And then I think it was probably about because her dad was gay, and she wasn't talking to her dad at the time because of the whole. And then this is 2004, also the whole gay thing, and I was like, you can't really like sleep with me and then not talk to your dad because he's gay. And her dad used to live next to the school, and on Sundays we used to go and stay there, and like I mean literally next to the school. And we would we like I can't remember we just how we discovered it, but we used to go and buy the DVDs in Best Buy because it was 2004, and we started watching it like in the hiatus between, I think it was season 1 and season 2 or season 2 and season 3, but it was really early. And then, we oh my god, we loved it. We used to watch it all the time, and I remember, like, and again, we were in high school, so, like, sometimes when, her mom would come home, we would be, like, watching it and it'd be like, "Change it, change it." And, yeah, she used to call me Bet and I used to call her Tina. And then, um, like and, season 5, it was when I was in university. We used to go to, like, watch parties and things like that. And now, always around this time of the year, because obviously the L Word always used to be on January to March, and sometimes I post it on Twitter or my stories because it like, my Facebook from that time, it's always something about the L Word. So from then, it was always close to my heart. It's normally something about how much I fancy Jennifer Beals or how hot she is. Oh, I didn't even see your message about a poll, Kaya, until now. I was ahead of one step ahead. Oh, yeah, lots of people have been telling me about that Plex server, Christine. I'm gonna look into that too. Oh, yeah, if you added up how many times I've watched The L Word, like, the amount of people that I've, turned into fans too. One my best friend from high school, she's, like, super straight, and she loves the show, but no one loves it more than her mom. Oh my god, her mom is, like, the straightest woman in the world, and her husband are adorable. They're so cute, and, they're, like, in their late 50s and are, like, grandparents, and her mom will be like, "That porter's so hot." Like, "Aren't you married to him?" Oh, I have a cool video coming out. Um, I spilled water on myself. I'm working on this video at the moment that it's taking a little while because there's, like, mm, a lot to it, but like in-depth one. It's Bettina, but kind of the L word too. And it's more about like the message and the show overall and like how I don't know how it like interacts with the audience and feelings and stuff. But I'm hoping to have it out mm, by the weekend because I have like a bit kind of a busy week, so I'll hopefully have it out maybe Friday. Great minds think alike. Oh yeah, yeah. Claire watches the L Word on Thursdays now because she doesn't work on a Thursday. So she's got a little boy who Leo, he's like 2. He just had his second birthday last month and he goes she like gets him from nursery, I think. And then when he's like having his nap on a Thursday when she's not working, that's when she watches the L Word. And she always leaves me a voice note afterwards telling me like what she thought of the episode. Yeah, the Vanessa Williams thing. I I think it was not last week, the week before that we talked about that because she said on her Instagram that she hadn't heard anything yet, which I think that's so weird because I would have thought they would have put the offers out by now. But maybe she's heard something now, you know. But I haven't seen her say anything else. I'm gonna close the poll in 1 minute. Yeah, Lynn, I saw that Vanessa Williams was following you. What happened there? I was just like, does she maybe she wants to have a peek at, like, all the Bentina stuff? Because you're, like, pretty open about, your preference of Bentina. I think a lot of people would be straight until pet. Oh, no, we haven't talked about the spirit, oh my god, someone has to think of I'm gonna put it on the screen. Oh, yeah, I have it on my Instagram. What's going on here? Okay, let's put this up. One plug before I talk about this. I have a second channel. I was talking about the second channel. I have a second channel that talks about like frauds and cults and scams, and I'm covering the Dropout over there. That's about Elizabeth Holmes, and I have followed that story since before she got found out when I was working in a blood testing lab, and I find it fascinating. I'm obsessed with it, and I have been for like 15 years. So if you either like me or like the Dropout, then go. You can check that out. It's called Coffee and Cults. And I'm also going to start covering We Crashed, which starts next week, the 18th. And it's about Kate's cousin, who are huge scammers. And they in the video sometimes they show pictures of Kate with them. So I will one sec. I know probably most of you guys because you're the loyalist best people are probably already subscribed to my second channel, but I just put it in the comments if you want to check it out. Okay. So someone like, come on, there has to be a meme for this. Like, it has to be something like the L word generation Q, the L word, or like the young lesbian community, something like that. Like, there's something there. I know it. Something waiting to happen. So whoever thinks of the best lesbian meme for this, you can have any shirt from my store. I am the judge though. Miss G and I are the judges. So I want funny entries, and I'm gonna try and think of one too. Because I think it's hilarious. There has to be I know they were in that movie together. And I'm sure they know each other from around, but what was the movie called? Catch Kid? Something to catch a kid? Kid something? I'm just reading your comments. Oh, hey, Cairo Ninja. Oh, Siobhan. Tests were going on there, Siobhan. Okay. Yeah, so someone needs to come up with a funny one. Or this one too. I really think that Kristen Stewart could could win an Oscar this year. I really do think that she was really good. I know, like, especially a lot of British people were like about whether they thought she did a good job or not. I think she did. I really like the Spencer movie. I think this one was cute too. Obviously, like, I love the symbolism that Jennifer's gone for with the Ukrainian flag and stuff too, but it is a really nice piece from Gucci too. So she's always dressed super nice. I wonder if she has like the same person that like dresses her for everything, or if she like gets a different person. There was um uh film spirit award. Sorry, what order it was in. Because it was like the IMDb, it was like a color background. Because Jennifer Beals wasn't in the televised bit. Oh, there's Andrew Garfield. She posted on her Instagram with him the other week. I think that Coda movie, I haven't seen it yet, the Marley Matlin's in. I think that's gonna do good too at the Oscars. I love the Oscars. My dad and I always like do like we like print like a ballot, and then we do like bets. Oh, Charlotte, you were same age as me then, too. 17. Good introduction to the L word age. Yeah, Jackie, I think so too. She's normally always dressed in Gucci. Oh, yeah. When it have they done a release date for Luckiest Girl Alive? Um, so you can hear the accent because Rosanna was asking. Oh, come on. You can't when you have a meal with the queen, you have to wait for her to eat, and if she stops eating, they immediately clear the dishes. So you got to be fast. Because when we go to Ascot, it's a whole. You have to wear the top hat. Well, the men have to wear the top hat and tails, and you have to wear like a big dress and stuff. And because like the queen's horses, like obviously she's racing a lot of hers, she's in and out and thing, and it's like this whole dilemma, not dilemma, but like hoopla. Oh my god, it's gonna end without her speaking.
Yesterday,
Here we
you
go.
arrived after the Queen.
I got lost.
Why would you get lost? You've lived over the hill for years.
It looks different now. Everything looks different.
You sure you went late yesterday because you were delayed by someone?
Why do you think I got delayed by someone?
Oh, come on, come on. They are circling us. Didn't you know? Don't you read?
It seems they're circling just me. Not you. Just me.
The thing is,
I think I think she did do a good job. It's on Hulu if anyone wants to watch it, by the way, Spencer. It's because it wasn't in the cinema for for over here it wasn't in the cinema for very long. But oh, hey Kinky. Hope you're feeling better. Um Spencer, anyway, I am very critical about accents because as you can hear, my own is perfect. But obviously there's a lot of British production shows, movies that think just because they've watched like a couple of American movies that they know like and this is kind of weird to say, but like they think they know American culture and like stuff like that. And vice versa. Like there's lots of Americans who think that just like American productions that think just because they've watched, a couple of Downton Abbeys or something like that, that they know what's going on over here and like slang and stuff. And both ways, you'll get like, because obviously I am literally half and half and spent half my life in both. And like, I do consider myself as much, well, maybe not as much, but like British, American, whatever. And when someone's doing the accent, either way, like I think there's not a lot of great British people who can do American ones. They all sound, I don't know. It's weird. I don't think there's a lot of people that do a really good job. Robert Pattinson does a decent one, but that being said, I don't think there's tons of great the other way either. Renee Zellweger is one of the best who's done a British accent, but I do think that Kristen Stewart does a really good job here, and it's like because Diana's voice and the royal family's voices, they're difficult. They're not like an English person would, most English people would have to really practice to get the accent too. But I think considering she's American, she did a really great job. And yeah, I think that that she did a great job. And I really, obviously, as you know, she is one of us too. I really would love to see her get the Oscar. That said, I do really like Jessica Chastain too. and she didn't get a lot of recognition for that film, The Eyes of Tammy Faye. So, but I think Kristen Stewart does just edge it out for me because she a big old lesbian. So yeah, I'm trying to think if I was going to say something else. Oh, do you know what the best representation of a show that the show that I think does the exact correct American, British, whatever, and every decision that they make, like the brands that they have, the way that they speak, the slang they use, like they do a perfect job and would make the same decisions that I would make as an expert on both. I think Ted Lasso is one of the shows that absolutely nails it. Bye, Helen. Thanks so much for coming. Yeah, Ted Lasso is a really good one because you'll get like my sisters and I always joke because there's so few people that really like this isn't a common accent. Like there's not a lot of people who spent like time so evenly in both and I used to get this a lot in America. People would be like, "Oh my god, we got some haggis for you." And I'm like, haggis and like black pudding and stuff. It's like weird little stereotypes that I think are like old fashioned like and people have picked it up and people would always be so disappointed when I tell them I didn't drink tea. But it's the same this way too because there's so many people who think like I don't know, like weird stereotypes about American. Like literally I hear and this goes true for British and American that the second someone hears my accent, it doesn't matter if they're an American and they hear the British or the British hearing the American, everybody immediately they're looking at you in the eyes and they immediately hear the accent and they go and they look at your teeth. And the British people are like, "Oh yeah, you are American. Your teeth are very white." And then I see the Americans be like, "Your teeth aren't fucked up." It's just a funny thing. Yeah, James Marsters one is very like over the top. Like you don't really hear a lot of people in real life who sound like that. Like most of my friends obviously sound exactly like Katie and Claire. Like that I had an Irish accent originally. I had a Northern Irish accent when I was like a little kid. And then when I moved here to the Isle of Man when I was like 8, 9, I had a really thick like Southern Irish accent. And there was a couple of times the teachers couldn't understand me in school and some of the kids couldn't understand me. And then by the time I was like 16, I sounded exactly like Katie and Claire. Like I sounded like the Harry Potter kids. And then when I moved to America when I was 16, I held that for a really long time, that like Harry Potter accent. And it about 5 or 6 years in, that's when I started to get this like twang. And yeah, it's weird. The back and forth. Kinky, thank you so much for the lovely, lovely super sticker. You are so sweet because I know it is literally like 4 in the morning there. So I hope that you're feeling better. Um, and you need to get some good rest, Kinky. Because lots of fluids too. You know, when you're sick, you just need to get in bed with all your covers, preferably a cat if you have one handy. And yeah, lots of water. I loved Smallville so much. I loved Smallville, and my mom used to watch that with me in the beginning, and she hated like all um like anything superhero-y, or you know, anything that's like not real, like my mom really disliked. And my middle sister, she hates stuff like that except Harry Potter. She loves Harry Potter, and we went to every single midnight show together. But my mom for some reason likes Smallville, and we used to watch it together. And like that was one of, after Buffy ended, that was one of like my favorite shows. I loved it. And honestly, I could not believe what happened with your woman, um, Allison, because she was like, I really liked the girl who played Lois, and I really liked Allison. Like I thought that, and she had like a weird lesbian marriage to keep that other actress in the country. It's so weird. And then she was in that um Nexium thing. It was, I think I might cover that on my second channel soon. And like from the Allison Mack angle. Yeah, yeah, Smallville's really good. And it's 10 seasons. I've got the big DVD like box set. Yeah, she and it's weird because like you think she, I remember when she was on that show, cuz she was like the only one apart from Tom Welling that was on it from the beginning. And in the 10th season, I remember thinking like, why isn't she in all the episodes? Like I thought she was trying to do like move, like a lot of the CW actors will be like want to go to movies and then they start to transition out. But it was so odd. And she was, I remember as a kid watching her in like Disney stuff. She was in that it's like the third Honey We Shrunk Ourselves or something. And yeah, I think that she was just someone who must have, and like I don't mean to like um human or like feel sorry for her or something, but she clearly had some like deep issues. And I think she just went to the wrong fucking place to work on them. And yeah, clearly had some, did some fucked up stuff. Yeah, it's so, I don't know, you think about these people like that have I mean, if you're on a show like that, like unless you live a ridiculous lifestyle, you never have to work again. Or if you are on a show like Smallville, and or any of the CW ones, and they're like on the lower end of residual checks, they, oh, the polls. She was probably getting residual checks for 100,000, 120,000 easy. And I would actually say more, because when I used to work with a lot of the people on Buffy, most of, and this is like, people that were main cast, they would, all their residual checks would be like six figures. And you're getting those a couple of times a year. Oh, so most people did watch it when the OG aired. Okay. I guess, like, there's only a certain amount of us in here. I'm gonna wrap up now anyway, Rosanna. But thank you for coming. But yeah, I don't know what happens to these people. Like you get on a show like that, you are set for life. Like, and you're getting a residual check like that with like 100,000. And this is the same for the L word, for Grey's Anatomy. Must kill it with residuals. Holy shit, must kill it. And they also, like most of these shows now, you can have a whole second career doing conventions. And you think about Kate and Leisha are going on that thing in May, um, the like Caribbean holiday thing. And you think about them doing pants, like, they're getting ad money. And when they do the live one, they're getting all those tickets. I have a suspicion they're not going to do an in-person thing again. I think they realize they can do it live, and they're going to do the live ones and the phone calls and all of that. Like you are set. And obviously they're getting paid for the show too. So it's wild. And these people, there's people that fuck it up. Oh, so many people that fuck it up, and they just I don't know. And then you have them all whining and complaining all the time, and it's like, gosh, so many people would trade their situation for yours. But I am going to wrap up, my lovelies, and you guys are just the best, the best, the best. Um, Vicky, Kaya, Christine, Missy, can't read my writing, Lisa, Tammy, Misha, Kinky, thank you so, so, so much for your donations. And I will match those, and we will be I'll probably do the Airbnb thing, because that seems to be, I always like to look into just how much of the charity is going to the charity. So yeah, I will get that. And oh, the anyone who comes up with the funniest lesbian meme must be lesbian, is the stipulation for the Jennifer Beals and Kristen Stewart hug. You can have any shirt, maybe if you want a water bottle or something instead, from my store. So to submit, just comment on the post with your take on that meeting of the lesbian minds. And yeah, I think that's everything, right? So I'll hopefully have the lesbian news out tomorrow or Wednesday. Like I said, this week is pretty busy, so I will try and have, I have like a, I think it's going to be a cool L word Bentina video out at the end of the week, so everything else should be on track. And as I said, if you want to do me a favor, please go and look at my second channel. Even just subscribe. Have it on in the background. It's me ranting. And yeah, everything else, I think that's good. Don't forget to follow me on social media. Don't forget to like the stream if you enjoyed it. And I will try and put timestamps down below. Thank you so much if you're watching this on replay crew. And oh yeah, thank you to everyone who watched my weight loss video and had lovely, lovely, kind words. Thank you so much. Thank you, Jody. And yeah, I was a little bit nervous about putting that out. But Michelle McDaniels, she's one of my favorite YouTubers, and she liked my Instagram post and commented on it. So that made my day yesterday. But I love you guys. Thank you so much again. You are the best, the best people. And I love you very much. And I'll be back, of course, next Monday, always, always. And I'll be checking in with some other videos. Oh, yes, please subscribe. It's free and it helps so much more than you could ever know. So thank you for subscribing, because we hit 12,000. Woo woo! So that was awesome. Onward to 20. And I'll see you guys next week. Love you very much. Be good, be safe, take care of yourself. Miss G and I love you. And I'll see you soon. Bye.